Paul CHEK. Welcome back to my mini-series, How to Survive in a Modern World. Today we're going to do part 4, Grounding Yourself. I'm going to give you the basics of how the body flows energy through it and how it relates to the Earth environment. And I'm going to show you some of the common problems we have in a modern world that create illness, disease, fatigue, and all sorts of nasty things that we want to avoid if we want to live our dreams and be happy and healthy. So let's get started with a basic overview of grounding. First of all, it's important to remember that the human body is a product of the environment. It's a product of the earth, you're a product of the sun. All of you is all of that. So you could safely say that the human being is a life form that is in circuit with the solar system and the cosmos itself. So here you see our feet are relatively negative and contact the earth, and our heads are relatively positive. So if you use an electrical voltmeter or a sensitive measuring device, you will find that the head's relatively positive compared to the feet. The feet are the negative end or the ground end of the biological circuit. So in this example, the sun represents a positive polarity or a force of levitation. The earth represents the negative polarity and the force of gravitation. The balance of those energies have to move through us in order to enliven us. Just like any electrical circuit, if you don't have a flow of current, you don't have any activity, you don't have any work potential. It's also important to remember that we're designed to be barefooted, we're designed to be in contact with the earth. We sleep on the earth, we harvest on the earth, we're earth creatures. So we're built so that this natural flow of information and energy takes place, but as I'll show you, there's a lot of problems that occur when it doesn't take place. So now we want to remember that for all intents and purposes, energy equals information. That doesn't necessarily mean that energy always is information, but in the sense that I'm speaking of it here, energy equals information. For example, we need the energy and the information of the sun. If we don't have the energy and information from the sun, we don't have flowers, we don't have food, we don't have life. Nothing effectively moves with regard to life as we know it. So the sun and the moon are energy sources and they're information sources. If you've watched my series, What is Organics, you'll see I talked about the moon and paramagnetic energy. Those are examples of how different energies create different types of information. Food is a source of energy, but it also carries information. For example, you can get calories out of anything that is a food source, but if you eat something like gluten-containing grains and you're gluten intolerant, the information in the gluten will cause an immune reaction. So there will be both energy and information. You may be compatible with the energy in the food itself, but the information may be disruptive to your biological and psychological systems. Water is a source of energy and information. If you think of homeopathic medicine, the homeopathic medicine can have not one single atom of the original medicine, but it carries the information, and the energy of the medicine is embedded into the water as energy medicine. Love, as we all know, is a form of energy and information that comes into us as flow through connection. So these are just simple examples of the types of energy and information sources that we're designed to be compatible with. And because we live between the earth and the sun in the atmosphere, we're sort of in the middle of a circuit of a positive and a negative polarity, and the work potential to create exists in us as life. So now that we've covered some of the basics, and we know that you're supposed to be living in circuit with the environment, with the earth, with the sun, let's take a look at some of the challenges of surviving a modern world. We're surrounded by electronics. Most people have microwave ovens, stereos, TVs, fax machines, printers, cell phones, electric clocks, electric appliances, dishwashers. Man, the list just is so long, it's incredible. Electronic toys, tablets, video games. I can't even think of them all. There are so many sources of electromagnetic pollution. An electrical device puts off an energetic frequency depending on the type of the device it is, and many of those frequencies are disruptive to our health and physiology. If you want to learn more about that, the best book I can refer you to is The Body Electric by Robert O. Becker, MD. Excellent book. It'll explain in great detail how disease is created by electromagnetic pollution. Okay, so now let me take you through this diagram. First, through the window, you see my cartoon of power lines. The Russians outlawed anyone living within 1,000 feet of power lines prior to the fall of communism. When it was a communist country, it was against the law for anyone to live within 1,000 feet of power lines, according to the research that I found, because they had found there was serious health hazards being too close to high power lines. Yet we have them right outside of our windows, right along our house. I've been in many places where you could practically reach out the window and touch a power line. Some of these things have huge voltages going. 30,000 up to 100,000 volts is not uncommon. You can often hear them buzzing if you're standing next to them. These things are very alive and they're radiating huge amounts of energy that's disruptive to your body. Then you've got electrical circuits in your house. Many of your circuits are charged from the wall and they stay on. So you've got live electrical circuits in your house all the time that are constantly producing an electromagnetic pollution effect. You've got many sources of electrical devices that now have what's called a ready-on circuit in them. The reason your TV turns on just like that and doesn't have to warm up like they used to is because the TV actually never goes off. It's on all the time. The screen goes to black. But inside, if you look in there, you can actually see circuits alive in many of them, and you can measure it, you can check it out. It's still hot inside. So these ready-on circuits are constantly energizing the environment with electromagnetic pollution because nothing's actually shut off. So there's energy flowing through it. You've got cell phones. Cell phones, in my opinion, are extremely dangerous to keep near your body or on your body. You should never keep them near food. You should never keep them near water. Keep them far enough away that you can't feel them. A quick way to learn how powerful a cell phone can be is turn it on, grab a bottle of water, a glass bottle of water, and have someone slowly bring that phone towards you, and you should begin to feel that water literally start buzzing in between your hands. If you can't feel it, it means that you're already energetically very clogged up and probably overstimulated. So cell phones are constantly putting out waves of connection. Your phone, when it's on, is like a search system. It's constantly open to receive. So you're essentially always connected to a grid, which is why they can follow you. If someone has your cell phone number, they can track you with it. That's how you can find your phone. So you're actually always connected to this electric grid. Now, if you look at research on cell phones, a man named Ross Addy showed that the amount of energy that passes through your head when you're talking on a cell phone. So, for example, if this guy's talking on a cell phone and the window's over here, the metal of the building absorbs a lot of the frequency, so the frequency has to pass through the window, through the guy's brain to his head. Ross Addy showed that the amount of energy that is used for a cell phone signal is about 1 million times higher than the amount of energy used for your brain cells to talk to each other. Imagine what it would be like if somebody was in a conversation with you and right next to you somebody was speaking 1 million times louder, how just damaging that would be to you. So from a very basic electrical perspective, even these micro voltages compared to what the body runs on are extremely high, and as we now know, cell phones cause brain cancer. So you've also got all the buzz of television screens, computers, computer screens and everything you can imagine, video monitors, electric motors, lighting. There's all sorts of problems with modern day lighting that can be very damaging to your health. I advise you to look at the research of John Ott, O-T-T. Just go on Amazon and type in John Ott, and you will find some really interesting research that will wake you right up to why this is such an important topic. Next, people are wearing shoes. Whenever you wear shoes, you're insulating yourself from the earth. An insulator is something in an electric circuit that does not conduct electricity. It keeps the charge or the flow of electricity going and so that it doesn't leak out into the surrounding environment. That's why you have myelin on your nerves, a sheath that's made of fat that protects the signal from jumping out of you. So when you put shoes on your feet, if they're made of any kind of an insulator, it will stop the flow of electromagnetic pollution from being grounded into the earth, and that will cause your body to literally buzz. So now consider then, sun, moon, food, water, and love are compatible sources of information and energy. But all the things I've been talking about over here, they're not compatible with the human body. They cause tremendous health problems. And if your feet are not touching the earth with any regularity, and you're wearing an insulator on your feet, such as a rubber-soled shoe, all that energy gets trapped inside your body. And just like you can put a homeopathic medicine together that has the energy and the information of the original substance, when that energy hits your body, it starts shaking your water molecules, and it actually informs your body of this information, which can be very, very devastating to your biological systems. So you get things like skin growths, digestive problems, mental, emotional distress, etc. So what do we got to do? One, spend as much time as you can going bare feet and touching natural surfaces. If you can get out and lay on the grass somewhere, even if you're in a building, if it's got stone floors, the stone's usually anchored through the building structure into the earth, steel posts, etc. So most buildings, if they have natural substance on the floor, such as stone, can ground you, as I'll show you in a minute. Getting on the grass is very, very helpful. If you take a shower, when you take a shower, a lot of the reason when you get out of the shower and feel so refreshed is a lot of showers have a stone floor, and water can actually help ground you and literally wash away a lot of the electromagnetic pollution in your body, because water conducts electrical energy. So showers are good. Baths are good. A grounding mat. If you just go on Google or Amazon and search grounding mat, you can find neat little grounding mats that you can put on your bed that bring the bed surface to the frequency of the earth and have a grounding effect on your body, and can be very, very supportive for helping balance adrenal function, improve energy levels, and help speed healing. So now, here I'm also suggesting that you wear natural fiber clothing whenever possible. Synthetic clothing is not good for the body. It's full of chemicals. It disrupts your energy field. It's best to get rid of all that. We shouldn't buy it anyhow, because it promotes the destruction of the environment and the overutilization of plastics. So what you can do is get in some healthy clothes, get cell phones off your body, put it in the console of your car, carrying it in a briefcase, keep it away from your body, keep it away from your food, keep it away from your water, shut any electrical circuits off that you do not need. Try to keep your environment as stable as you can. There's many companies that make protection, electromagnetic protection devices. The Tesla devices I found to be very, very good. Zone exercises can be very helpful, because people that get overloaded with electromagnetic pollution, in my observation, often have a hard time with the two hemispheres of the brain connecting and communicating effectively. So on page 115 of my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, under Zone 6, I show you a simple exercise you can do. And all you got to do, if you're sitting there and you're feeling a little stressed and your mind's not working well, as you inhale, look up and look to the right. And as you exhale, look down. And as your eyes start to come up, inhale. Looking right, exhale. Keep the head still. Inhale. Let the belly get big. Exhale. Do that about 5 or 6 times in each direction, and that will reorient the brain hemispheres, and you'll actually often notice a significant increase of mental clarity and energy. Another simple trick is to cross the midline of the body, so just stand with your arms in the air, right elbow, left knee, and vice versa. Do that about 20 times. That will also integrate the brain hemispheres. So if you can do those exercises regularly and get outside or find stone to get on, you will feel a hell of a lot better, or get into a shower, ideally cold for other reasons. Here's a little example of how I ground myself, which is very, very easy to do if you want to lay on the grass or on the floor. I have a nice marble floor in the workhouse here. So very frequently when I feel a little tired or my brain needs a little recharge, I just lay right down here. I also do this between heavy stone lifting sessions because it's very good for the spine. But I just relax on the floor here. Give yourself a few minutes. Your spine will lengthen, your body will relax. The coolness of the marble will add yin energy to your body. And in just 5 or 6 minutes, while you're laying on the floor, if your body gets uncomfortable because the floor is hard, just roll to whatever position feels good. And just keep finding positions of comfort. After you've had 8 or 10 minutes or whatever you can afford to give yourself, go ahead, just get up and notice that you will feel a lot better. So that's my tips for surviving in a modern world today. Ground yourself, get connected to the earth. Remember, energy and information are either informing your body, energy and information. Information means information. What happens is when you get over here to all this chaotic energy that's not symbiotic with the human body, you can get such a charge of chaotic energy, you can no longer hold the energy and information in formation. So when we cannot hold our form together, oftentimes it's because we're having excessive and chaotic energy inputs that lead to a breakdown of the body-mind structure. You can avoid all that by the tips I've shared with you today. I'll look forward to sharing with you in our next component or next part of this little mini-series. Hope you have fun laying on the floor and getting some electromagnetic cleanup going on.